Welcome to our first IG Live talk show, aka the Pepper Soup.
Pepper Soup Talk.
Pepper Soup Talk. It's our first time doing this, so bear with us. We just go with the punches, like our Keith said.
Yeah, we're working some, it was not some growing pains.
Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect at first, but
right.
It's just we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. Okay. So. Key, can we make sure that everybody could hear us? How's the board?
Yeah, they say y'all good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Alright. So first of all, I just want to say shout out to everyone who's able to join us today. We are very grateful for you to be part of this journey. As you noticed, we started with the cooking tutorial live, and now we shifted into a live IG show where we get to talk about some interesting topics.
That's for sure.
And especially during this crazy, wild time of pandemic. Right. So, Keith, do you want to let folks know why we're here today?
Yeah, so we're here today to talk to Black entrepreneurs, founders, business leaders, and talk about their journeys and how they're navigating through this unprecedented time we're living in. And so this idea of Pepe Soup Talk, you all know Pepe is hot and spicy. And so we actually got some Pepe soup on the table. And the first guest we're going to bring to the show is an entrepreneur himself. He has a company called Katika. He was actually supposed to be here with us today, but it was, again, a little bit of some growing pains. He thought it was supposed to be a remote show, so we're just gonna dial up and bring him onto the live. Bring him onto the live.
So, Keith, while we work on that, let's talk a little bit about. See, we have an actual pepper soup right in front of us, which you could have a taste of it, but it looks pretty good. This is a fish pepper soup.
Jason's on, by the way.
I'm on. I wish I was there eating some soup with you guys.
Oh yeah, Jason, we really actually made you a pepper soup, but I tell you what, we saved one for you, and then bring it over later. Does that sound good?
There we go. That sounds good to me.
All right.
We're gonna get some spoons though.
Yeah, Aziz going.
Aziz on Jason, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Can you hear us, Jason?
Yeah, I can hear you. I wish I could. Your video sideways though.
Okay. Is the video good? Like, we just want to make sure we're good to go before we start talking.
Yeah.
Video's good, sound is good?
Sound is good. Little bit of echo,
little bit of echo. Okay, we might be opening the door or something like that.
Shit, don't fully tell you right now.
This is our weakness for all these stories. But
we good?
We good?
All right, let's just get straight to it. So we got Jason on our show today. Jason is the founder and CEO of Katika.
Yes.
Katika is a marketplace and directory for Black businesses. And Jason's based here in Philadelphia. So Jason, thank you for coming on the show. Can you just, I've already introduced you, but can you say a little bit more about yourself and talk to us about more about what Katika does?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor. Really appreciate it. So a little bit of the work that I do, I'm, I guess what you call Afro-technologist, and I really just build tech for people of color, for Black people, right? And so a few years ago, back in 2017, much like today, there was civil unrest, a police shooting, people were crying out, how can I find better businesses? So, someone requested to off the screen, by the way. The focus, the goal was to, take the skill sets I had as a, self-taught programmer, website designer. I had never created an app before. But I was like, listen, this cannot be this hard. I don't know why it's so hard to find Black business. So fast forward, so we created the app. All right, so there's two mics, someone said, and it's creating an echo.
Jason, so we just still trying to work with this sound system here.
Hey, it's the first show. That's okay.
Okay.
Thanks for working with us, yeah.
All right.
Is that better?
I'm in the comments as you're coming in and I'm talking.
Okay.
Is that better?
But I'll just wrap it up really quick. As you said, the whole purpose of Katika is to have a central place to find black businesses. So whether you're looking for a product or a service, you might say you need to.
Okay. So now, before we really get into it, Jason, can you talk to us about how this idea of Katika came about? Because you say you started working on this in 2017, and what was the inception of Katika? And then I know there's an app. You know, this is a marketplace. So were you the one that actually wanted to develop this app yourself? Did you have someone do this for you? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, so I developed it myself, but I did hire some programmers to kind of do some of the higher level, more intricate things. But again, the whole purpose is to how can we start to facilitate the dollars in our community, right? So everybody is around that stat, $1.4 trillion in spending power, et cetera. But and all these directories that are currently out there, that's great. But how do you start to connect the dots? How can you start facilitating the actual, transactions? So we said, okay, marketplace, if we have a product, we want to be like an Amazon. So you can sell your product right through the Katika marketplace. If you're a directory, now you can be found. You're like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I tutor, I'm a handyman, I'm a nail technician, whatever that service is, you can put yourself in our directory for free and be found on our app. And then early next year, we're going to have a feature where people can book your service, they can order your product online, not order product, but basically facilitate the different things in a directory that's different than the marketplace for actually selling the product. So all in all, like I said, central place to just facilitate the circulation of dollars. And we're not just in the U.S., we're also in South Africa as well. My co-founder, Aisha, she lives in Johannesburg, South Africa. So we saw this as a global, problem that we could address. So we're really trying to connect the whole diaspora, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's impressive too that when you call yourself a global company, you literally have a base here in Philadelphia and in South Africa. Was that the case from the onset? How did you go about setting that up? Were you building here and on the continent simultaneously? Did you start here and then go there? Take us through that journey. Like what that really looked like.
Hey, really quick before he answers, the response we're getting. So whenever Jason responds, we need to mute the mic, so that will reduce the echo. And then when you have a reply,
I think we should disconnect that. I think they could hear you when we talk to you. I think so. You should disconnect that.
This also.
Yeah, disconnect that. It's easy now. Yeah.
We're going to test. Yeah, I think echo went away. Yep, I can still hear you too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you might want to move a little bit closer though. Just a little bit closer. Okay, so the question was, how do we go international? Okay, so let me take you back 3 years. So when I was, I think everybody, we got thumbs up, cool. When I was first coming up with the idea, I like to, whether it's real estate or any, because I do a couple ventures, but regardless of whatever venture that you do, anybody, you should always bounce your ideas off of colleagues, friends, your network, right? And so when I did that, some of my friends are, around the world, and one of them was Aisha, who was living in South Africa. And so when I started telling her about, the whole plight of what's going on in America here, And by the way, Aisha and I, my co-founder, we went to Howard University together. So that's how, I knew her. And side note, that was one of the great things about going to Howard because, I went to school with people from Trinidad and Tobago, Nigeria, South Africa, so really the whole diaspora. And that's, those are people I kept in touch with, who've been my global network, if you will. So, again, fast forward, I'm talking to Aisha about this idea in 2017. She said, hey, this is great. These are some of the same issues that are going on here. And what you find is white people colonized the world, and they left many countries in shambles and many economies in shambles. And so as a result, there's a dire economic, void that has to be filled. And it's, it seems like in past generations, it's like, there was a push, an effort to try to get, some type of movement in that way. But I think that we're in a unique period of time right now because the type of economy that we're in, right, technology economy, there's a very low barrier to entry for tech companies, but they yield some of the highest net worths, right? Think about Apple, Google, et cetera. So say all that to say is that I think that tech companies are going to be a way for our community, not the only way, but one of the important ways for our community to really make inroads into, headways into creating our own corporations and businesses that hire people. So I know that was a long way to say how I got to an international company, but yeah, that's how we got to South Africa. Was basically talking with Aisha, who was a Howard classmate, and then just recognizing like, this is a systemic global problem, and that in the early stages, like the first version of the Katika website, our tagline was we want to create a transatlantic economy. All right, so that was kind of the forward thinking of, okay, there was a transatlantic slave trade. Let's, invert that, flip that upside down, and create our own economy that can, work for us. So I can be long-winded, so just cut me off.
It's interesting seeing how, as the idea evolves and you iterate on it, that tagline and what Katika encompasses, starts to evolve into what it is now, which sounds like it's connecting Black businesses and increasing the spread of the Black dollar across the diaspora. But I know Seth, we got some questions too.
So I just wanted to, say, shout out to everyone who's giving us feedback to make sure that you're able to hear us and the sound. So we just want to make sure that the system is working. If you can't hear us, please let us know. But thank you so much for the feedback. And if you have questions and comments, go ahead with it because we want to make sure we get a lot of people participating in this and ask Jason questions. So Jason, again, we're very grateful to have you on the show today. You are the first one, we're very honored to have you, given the work you've done. And so talk to us a little bit about, we were unfortunately hit with this pandemic, COVID-19, and it really shattered and forced us to rethink about so many things, not only our health, but also like the health and function of our businesses. So given the current climate right now, when COVID came, what did that mean for your business, and what changes that you want to do to make sure that your business continues to thrive?
Yeah, I think that Katika was kind of in a unique place when COVID dropped because we are an online platform, and we actually facilitate people opening up their own e-commerce stores. We were kind of a go-to for some Black businesses. So people, have been coming to our site, trying to sign on as vendors, as well as, kind of because this is all around the George Floyd murder as well too. So, 2 weeks after that, everybody's like, how do I find a Black business? How can I, shop Black? So it's like, hey guys, we built the platform 3 years ago that does that. So, so that's kind of worked out for us. I would say, because aside from Katika, I also sit on, I should say because of Katika, I sit on like advisory boards and like task force, if you will, here in the city of Philadelphia of kind of just like your business leaders and activists who are trying to figure out how we can basically, stop the bleeding, because it's projected we're going to lose up to like 40 to 45% of black-owned businesses, like coming out of COVID. So, aside from, of course, the grant money and the relief money that was sent from the state, we created a couple of weeks back, we did a curbside restaurant week. And then out of that restaurant week, we created a Black Restaurant Association. So then that made that much easier to disseminate information to all the Black restaurants. There was something also that was done, similarly for Black barbershops and salons as well. They came together, this is without Katika, but they came together and, did the same thing. They went to the state, they said, hey, you guys are telling us we can't be open for business, but you're also not giving us money. So, either you're going to help us by giving us some type of grants or loans or not. So I would say that, Katika, again, it's like, I saw where it's like, all right, if we collect all this information, then what? All right, people can come Google, they find the business. But if you're a business, how does that help you, or what other information can I get, right? Because we find a lot of times, and it's a big spectrum. You have a lot of people that they want to start a business and they don't know the basics, like just getting an LLC, articles of incorporation, setting up a bank account. But then you have the people that have been in business for years and they may just not be technology savvy, technically savvy to know how to, go online and apply for this or that. So we saw that, it was just a big spectrum of people that kind of fell in the gap. So folks like myself and, like I said, some other activists, we were just trying to really organize as many businesses as we could and get that information in their hands.
Jason, you spoke a little bit about restaurants and beyond the Katika marketplace and directory. I know that you also put together experiences with Katika. You guys have done Black history tours and Black bar crawls. Can you talk a little bit about what Katika experience is?
Yeah, absolutely. So experiences, it's funny because I'll give you guys like the whole history behind it. So, am I still coming in? Oh, like it froze. Okay, I think it froze for a second, but it's back now. So yeah, so Katika Experiences, that actually kicked off 2 years ago during what's it called, St. Patrick's Day, right? So it was March, St. Patrick's Day. Everybody was like, "Hey, we want to go out drinking, but we're tired of going to all these white bars downtown, making them rich, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Hey, I made a directory of all these Black businesses. Why don't we pick 4 bars, and we'll make our own Black bar crawl?" And that was the first event for Katika Experiences. So since then, we've done probably about 4 or 5 in Philly as well as DC of those experiences. And so that gave us kind of like the validation or verification, like, okay, maybe we're on to something. Let's see what other types of events that people will want to go to that aren't your normal like party events, right? So the next thing we did was, again, with the focus on promoting, highlighting Black businesses, was to start featuring Black wine companies. So we came up with something called, what's it called? Taste of Noir. What's it called? Taste of Noir. So that we went to a Black art gallery, featured Black wine. That was a great event. And then fast forward, building on that, we finally thought of a history tour. So that idea came out of a trip I took to China, and they've got like the playbook for tourism. So I won't even go down that road. But basically, I just took that blueprint from China, said, how can we do this here in Philadelphia? There's over $7.1 billion generated annually in tourism in Philadelphia. And it's all concentrated, or I should say all, but the majority of it is concentrated downtown, your independent small area, Liberty Bell, etc. So I'm like, all right, we need to start spreading some of those dollars because, there's folks up in Germantown, there's historical areas there that need to get some of those dollars. So long story short, we put 2 tours together. One was downtown, one was Germantown area, and we started running those tours. They went very well. Then COVID happened. So since then, we're actually about to. This is called a 360-degree camera, and so we're about to create a virtual reality experience where we're going to also provide the little VR headset for people. And same thing, go to different Black sites around Philadelphia. You'll have the tour guide, and that's how we're going to do the experiences that way. And then the last thing I'll say is, on the platform itself, right now, experiences is only Katika experiences, but what we're building out, and in the middle of building actually right now, is actually transitioning it to be a ticketing platform, right? So think of Eventbrite and Ticketmaster. They damn near have a monopoly on people creating events and posting them up. And so I'm like, again, this is Afro Tech. I'm coming in, knocking down the door, and I'm not taking any prisoners. So we're coming in with our own ticketing platform. So if you want to create your own free event or paid event, you can put your own experience on there and then market it the same way. It'll look similar to Eventbrite. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. But again, this is our platform.
It's a lot of great things coming.
Right. It's just amazing, Jason. Thank you for everything you have shared with us so far. And it just sounds to me that Katika has become, and it's on its way to become a very powerful platform to really raise awareness about all the amazing things that us as the Black folks are doing out there. Often that it's just a matter of exposing how we identify Black businesses and where they're located, and it just sounds to me that Katika has become a major platform. I would just say Katika has become a major trailblazer, and we just wanted to make sure that we continue to let folks know about the power of Katika so they can feel empowered to build their own businesses, especially if you're a Black entrepreneur, or especially if you are a Black in person thinking about starting your own business, and you don't know where to start. So we just definitely want to make sure we continue to connect you with people like Jason, who could not only share his experience with you, but also direct you to resources to make sure that you are able to build your own business and you are able to achieve your own goals.
I'm looking at the chat right here. It says that you use Katika to promote my brand. So that definitely, whoever's on this platform, actually, shopkatika.com.
Yeah, so we will actually ask Jason about that. So,
right.
Jason, can you tell us a little bit about how folks can use Katika to empower, shed light to the work that they're doing? Because I know a lot of us who are tuned in today, they kind of want to get some sort of advice or how Katika could help them personally to build their own business. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. And I also want to answer Suya Pepper asked how can they join Katika. So very easily, actually let me see if I could. I know I can't do a share screen, but I'm going to flip my camera around really quick and pull up the website, just kind of give people a visual. So
while you do that, I'm gonna take a bite of this pepper soup right here.
It's talk a little bit
okay,
about.
so this is the website. The easiest way to sign up for it, if you scroll to the bottom, to the footer, if you have a product that you want to sell, just select sell on Katika. If you have if you want to be listed in the directory, list your business. So both of those will take you to a form, very easy, fill out the form, hit submit, and then we have you in the platform within 24, 48 hours. It's pretty straightforward. And then or just effort is going to be mission based. We just want to help support as many Black businesses in as many ways as we can. Because of that crazy stat that I said, 40% of Black businesses will not survive, and that's like, yeah, that's like unheard of. That's, I don't even want to think about what that is, but end of the day, we have of course, our Instagram. So basically, all of our social media platforms. We have a newsletter with over 5,000 people that we blast out different products and things that are going on in Katika. In addition to that, we have over 5,000 unique hits that come to our website from over 30 countries around the world. And so, you're getting a global audience at this point. So I would say, just sign up and we will take care of you.
So Jason, something that,
I mean, it's different from that. We just have to.
Jason, something that we know is Katika Africa, the African branch. Can you talk a little bit about how it connects with the headquarters here in Philly? Is what's going on in Philly also going on in South Africa as far as the tours and experiences? Is it all kind of in one? Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yep. So like I said, my co-founder Aisha Jackson, she's down in Johannesburg, South Africa, and so I'm meeting with her, losing all types of sleep, staying up, time zones and stuff. But everything that we are doing here in the States, we are. Yes, you can link your website. We're also doing in South Africa. So the experiences is about to kick off now. Granted, because it's a different country, different government policies and structure is not apples to apples. But for the most part, as well as COVID, like for instance, like they shut down all e-commerce during their COVID period, which is like, well, that didn't make any sense. But so we have to deal with that. But experiences is going to kick off in South Africa as well. The marketplace is there as well. We have, when you go to the Katika website, if you click on marketplace, you have to actually select which country that you want to shop in, because if you're shopping in South Africa, those products are in South Africa and they'll get shipped to South Africa to you, and you'll also be paying in rands as well too. So I would say the only thing that is not complete yet, that is on the U.S. side, that's not stateside, is the on the mobile app, the checkout for the marketplace, and that's a technicality. We haven't found a third party merchant that can process payments on a mobile phone. So other than that, it's very all the services and products that are in the U.S. are also in South Africa. And last thing I would say is, even in our directory, even though we're headquartered in U.S. South Africa, we've actually already started adding different Black businesses in Nigeria, in Ghana, and the UK as well too.
It's I'm just so excited about like the just the growth and the power and the future of Katika, because I'm hearing just like South Africa, I'm hearing Nigeria, I'm hearing Ghana. And I'm excited to see like how other countries will sort of like continue to be part of this Katika movement, so that they will be like the circulation of Black dollar could really come to full force. So I'm really excited about this, and I think Jason, I know this work that you're doing, this company you're trying to build, it's not easy. But I just when I think about the power and the future and the potential of this company, I just get so excited, and I'm sure you feel the same way. So I'm just like, just naming like the potential of. Can you talk to us a little bit about the future of Katika?
Sure. I think one of the things, like if anybody goes on my Bison Guru account, I posted some kind of like they were diagrams about how to based on different industries and how you could facilitate business to business, right? So I'll just do a simple one like the beauty supply industry. So you got barbershops, you got hair salons, right? Both, minimum, you're probably in there probably an hour minimum, sitting there getting your hair done, get your hair cut. But then we'll leave out of there and go to an Asian beauty supply store to buy all the products to maintain our hair. So the idea is, okay, let's say, and then we know we have products that are created, health and beauty products that are created by Black people. So how can we take those products, maybe put them in those barbershops and salons or fulfillment center that's Black owned, and then, have that ecosystem kind of circulate that way. In addition to having, Black owned beauty supply companies. So to answer your question, one of the things that we've recently really been working on is basically bringing those models to life. So, and part of that starts with creating those associations, right? So again, you've got this massive directory. So now let's start organizing people based off the industry and association. So if you make, skincare products, there's people that are advanced at that, and there's people that are novices at that. But all those people are all, in that one industry, and they should all be working together, sharing resources, et cetera, right? So then that frees up people like, let's say, a Chamber of Commerce, who's just about in every city, to start to have trade shows, have conferences. So it's like, I see Katika kind of playing several roles. Like, aside from the tech side, I really think that, we can have a hands-on experience or hands-on role, and again, just building these models and facilitating and kind of organizing them. And then I guess just to fast forward, like when you're like pitching VCs and stuff, you're like, what's your exit strategy? What's your plan? My ultimate plan is to take this company public. I want to be a publicly traded company. So maybe the first major tech Black company that's traded on the stock exchange. But I'm laying the pieces down right now. I'm talking with a Black-owned distributor in Philadelphia, so we can by next year create our own micro fulfillment center here in the city. So once we create that blueprint and show that it works in Philly, then we're off to the races, because Detroit needs that, Atlanta needs that, New York needs that, Boston. So it's, I think in previous, I guess, ideology of capitalism, it was about get as big as you can, as fast as you can, whether that's, acquiring companies or, just stomping on the little man. But I think that, and it's starting to come to bear, it's like, that's not sustainable, right? So I think we're going to see a reverse, if you will, of how economies are going to be rethought and put together. So yeah.
Yeah, and with what's going on right.
So I had way too much pepper soup. I told him to go easy. Y'all eat more than
Y'all know it's a lot of pepper. It's a lot of pepper in the soup.
You said a lot of pepper. I might have dodged the bullet then.
Hey, man. Hey, but
I was gonna say, well, what's going on right now? We know that a lot of developments in our society when it comes to technology and just the way our economy works has been pushed forward because of the virus. So, a company like Katika being at the forefront of that is really great to see. And so, before we start closing out, I thought maybe we could ask if anyone who is in the chat has any questions for Jason on Katika or just what his process has been so far.
yeah, so yeah, definitely. Jason, if you could I don't know if you're able to see the comments. If you could look through that, and if anything sort of resonate with you, Jason, and anybody that you want to respond to, please go ahead, because we do want to make sure that those who are with us today, they're able to answer their questions as well.
I got a quick question while y'all looking through that.
Yeah. Okay.
So Katika, so it's a platform to give exposure to small businesses, so Black businesses. What's the metrics you use to figure out if the platform is exposing that company more, or how that fluctuates pre and post COVID or during COVID? How do you keep track of that?
Yeah, so in the marketplace, I built in a analytics tool, so each shop can know how many people are actually viewing their products or their actual entire storefront. That's on the marketplace side. On the directory side, that doesn't have the exact same type of analytics tool built in, but like for instance, during the curbside restaurant week, there was an uptick for the sales for different restaurants that were a part of it. So they did. We had like weekly calls, and they would report back kind of like some of their sales that were historical sales, and then what we did during our weekend, they could see the difference there. But that is and as with any tech platform, you want to have your what's called KPI, key performance indicators. So you want to be able to measure anything that you're doing. So if you're selling, it doesn't matter what type of company. If you have one product you're selling, it's okay. What days am I selling it the most of? What hour of the day am I selling it the most of? Different things like that. Somebody said vertical integration. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We are vertically integrating our accounts.
Yeah, and so thank you for that question. That was a very good question. Jason, again, thank you for being with us and for sharing your inputs and knowledge. We want to be mindful of your time. So we're getting ready to close this out soon. So we just want to close out with a few advice. What are some personal, professional advice that you would have for anyone out there who are in this game of trying to be entrepreneur and start off their business? What are 1 or 2, 3 major advice that you would have for us?
Man, you put me in a tough situation. Only 2 or 3 now, but
even just some parting words for an entrepreneur coming up, working on a business, as far as handling the journey from an emotional standpoint, and even kind of what to keep in mind when you're navigating through waters like this. These are unprecedented times, so it's like if you're going through this for the first time, but the mentality that you keep.
That you keep, right? And basically, how you fill your cup.
Yeah, how you keep your cup full.
How you fill your cup. How you keep your cup full. But we just want to hear about your thought process and how you overcome all these things.
Keeping the cup full, that's the easy one. That's having a good balance of what's your spiritual balance right? But I won't go all the way down there. But now for tips for entrepreneurs, I would say, and it sounds so cliche, find your passion. But no, I'll get a little bit deeper than that. I would say, 1, recognize that, and I don't know if this is advice, but this is being upfront. Like, no idea is original, right? Because people are like, oh, I got this idea. I don't want to tell nobody about it. It's not your idea. Someone has probably already thought of it. Is probably already doing it. What matters is the execution of an idea.
That's a word.
And so, in order to execute an idea, you need a couple things. And I break it down to an acronym called DRE. It's dream, research, execute. So you come up with the idea, but then you have to do your due diligence, do your research, do surveys, talk to people. A lot of times people will start a business and their friends like it, their family likes it. It's like their yes circle. I call it the yes circle. They like it. And that's the limit to the validation that they seek. But you've got to, go outside of your circle, get uncomfortable. And for somebody like myself, I'm a programmer, I'm introverted behind the scenes. Yeah, I had to break out of my shell and, start to get comfortable with public speaking and, just walking up to strangers and pitching them and this and that. So, I would say due diligence and then execution. Execution is really the ultimate thing. A lot of times, and every entrepreneur's been through this. It doesn't matter what it is, you will have built something For some reason, it will disappear, get destroyed, get deleted, and you have a choice at that point whether to suck it up, take a deep breath, and rebuild it, redo it, or to say, meh, throw your hands up and just move on. So I find that, you know, your true entrepreneurs, the ones that are resilient, have that tenacity, those are the ones that have the most success, because being an entrepreneur is by no means easy. I think that's a big misconception. People are like, oh, I get to have my own hours, I can make my own, you know, my own dollars, determine this and that. But there's a lot of sacrifices. You know, I don't even want to begin to talk about my sacrifices for Katika alone. But no, just as entrepreneur said, dream, research, execute. Know that no idea is original, but you know, you have to make sure that you pursue it. Otherwise, you know, you don't want to look back and be like, damn, I wish I would have done this or executed on this. And that's one of the worst feelings, seeing somebody else that did your idea. Well, you had the opportunity to do it. I've had that a couple times. That hurts. And keep the faith. Listen, because in hard times, when you're like bang your head against the wall, having faith always helps. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
I mean, those were, like, you said so many powerful things, Jason, and I think you got everybody listening. And we value your inputs and your advice. Just on a lighter note, like, you know, we know you're a busy guy, but enlighten us with something. What do you do for fun? You know.
For fun, I like to. Well, before COVID, I loved to travel. I traveled to over 20 countries, so this has kind of put a damper on things. But now aside from that, I went to the driving range the other day. I like to be active, right? So I like to play golf, tennis. I'm in the gym. I like to run. I'm reading books all the time. I play the piano. Got my piano back there. So yeah, I try to keep it interesting. Those are like my outlets of release too.
I'm telling you, if you get lucky enough to witness Jason play the piano, it's a beautiful moment. So hopefully you get to share that with other people, but I got a chance to see it. Very talented guy, versatile in so many ways. Jason, if people wanted to follow up with you after this live, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at Bison Guru. You can see it at the top there on the live. I know people, I'm just saying now, Bison is from Howard. So people are like, Bison Guru, what is that? That's where the name came from. If they want to email me, email is jcoles@shopkatika.com. Yes, my last name is Coles. I'm not trying to be like the rapper. It's Jason Coles, J. Coles. So, yeah, that's how they can get in touch with me. So, Bison Guru, J. Coles at Shop Katika. And Katika is KATIKA.com.
And Jason, just with the name Katika, can you talk to us about, before we wrap up, talk to us about what Katika itself means? I know there's a meaning behind it. Starting with that.
Yeah, right. I probably should have started with that. I'll make this a little bit longer. So, because I think this is also important too for people that want to start a business and naming a business. Katika actually wasn't the original name for this platform, right? When it was just a US idea, I was going to name it something like the Green Book 2.0 or Greenwood, something affiliated with, or like associated with Black Wall Street. But as this idea became more global, if you will, it was like, okay, what's a term or word that could connect with diaspora? Because somebody in Nigeria is going to be like, what's Black Wall Street, or what's Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? So that was the initial premise, to make sure it was an African word. So then from there, I wanted to make sure it was a either 2 or 3 syllable word, and that it started with a hard consonant K. Those are words that you typically remember. So from there, then I broke out the translator. So just literally went to Swahili and then started trying out different words, and we settled on Katika. And Katika it's kind of funny. So Katika is actually a Hindu god in India, but in Swahili it means in, among, or inclusive. And so we thought that really tied in with our whole mission of creating this inclusive platform for everybody, because even though it's Black businesses that comprise the businesses that are on there, we want everybody to come on there. So we want white dollars, Asian, Spanish, everybody come on there to use the platform. And so we wanted to, make sure that we didn't have a terms or like verbiage on there that kind of was off-putting towards those audiences, but still staying true to our mission as well too. So that was how we came up with Katika.
Yeah, it's a really awesome, great, beautiful name, and it's thick. So Jason, thank you for sharing all these things with us today. And to me, I just want to say, like the concept of the idea of One Jollof is a movement, and that is established on the core idea of promoting African excellence. So I just think when I think of excellence, you embody African excellence, and by helping to empower our people to build businesses, because we do believe that that's another way to really make it important. So thank you for paving the way and for inspiring so many of us to continue to follow our dreams and goals. If you have an idea of building a business, don't be scared. The first thing you should do, start reaching out to your close friends. For us, One Jollof was based on that idea. You start the conversation among your friends, and then the next thing you know, you start building it step by step, and you start reaching out to people. And today, here we are talking to one of the most brilliant entrepreneur and business guys in the city of Philadelphia, Jason. Aki, do you want to add anything else?
Yes, I just want to say, Jason, thank you for being our first interview for Pepper Soup Talk. We wish you could have been here in person to try.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill that.
I'm telling you.
Now listen, keep my bowl on deck. I might have this slide through tomorrow.
Okay. Hopefully, Aki won't eat by the time you get here.
It might be good. I know that food is good. And I know you guys will wrap up. I just wanted to say thank you for the work that you guys are doing. I've been to several of the One Jollof events. I've always had a great time. You guys bring great crowds out, like-minded individuals, positive people. And so to see you guys take that next step to doing podcasts, taking it virtual, I think, it just speaks to your brand and the things that you all are trying to do for the community at large. So appreciate you all.
Definitely.
Thank you, Jason.
And shout out to everyone on the chat who has tuned in today.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who joined, who had comments. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely.
Yes. Shout out to all of our supporters today. Like I said, this is just a beginning. We're going to continue to do this. Aki, what's the plan? We're going to do this twice.
Yeah, so we're going to be having these interviews and conversations every other week, and so stay tuned for our next interview. And as you know, we're starting with Black entrepreneurs, businesses, and business leaders, and we will continue overall to have more conversations that empower the diaspora and really promote and create this idea of African excellence.
Yes. We support everything that's Black.
Right.
All right?
That's right.
All right.
All right, Jason.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your weekend, and stay tuned.